Okay, so part three, I can't, I would be very, it would not be good if I didn't answer this question because some will have this. It's always the follow up question I get during these conversations is where do I go when I evolve? We talk about evolving, where do I go? And the best way you can think about this is what, like the computer, okay? When you got your first computer, it was a dinosaur, right? It only could connect to a certain frequency at that time. It couldn't be more advanced because it couldn't connect to that frequency. This is why you get faster and faster internet. You're evolving into higher frequencies that just that move quicker. So it's it's all just energy. It's all energy and frequency and vibration. That's all it is, the whole universe. So, anyways, hair on my eyes. So you now and then you upgrade, okay, and then you become a new computer, and you upgrade that computer or something, you upgrade the system, okay, so that's evolving. The computer doesn't always, it doesn't go anywhere if it gets an upgrade. So there's two ways to evolve, two ways to do that this can happen, and everybody makes this choice at a soul level, okay. So one way is that you can get a whole fresh new computer, just, or you can upgrade that physical computer, just use the shell and put in the system. Okay, so the body's the same way. Think of the body as the computer modem, the shell. And so you make a choice depending on how healthy you are, because it takes a lot to do that upgrade, right? So it's the same choice you'd make with a computer. It depends on how good it is. You might be better off just to toss it and get another one. I'm not being that trying to be blasphemous with that comment, but that's, I'm just trying to simplify it for you to kind of see how it goes when you evolve. So we're just like a computer, and we're evolving fast right now, okay? And so we're making that choice at every stopping point. It's all connected to astrology, but we won't go there because that's when you start getting real deep. But anyway, so so your body doesn't go anywhere. But what does happen? This is what I wanted to make sure I talk about. What does happen is you will be in a whole new timeline. Okay, so I want you to think of yourself like a Russian doll. Okay, those little dolls, there's one inside another. You have many versions of yourselves playing out different timelines. So think of it like a film script, and you cut it into portions, okay, into timelines. Like this is this version, and so that's another topic. But anyway, and so let's just use this example. You have a timeline of you you have a dream. Let's say the 3D version, your avatar has a dream. They want to live in Costa Rica and sell property and love to be by the beach and build a home by the beach. Okay, that's a dream, and they can visualize themselves. They can see themselves living out that dream. So now, if you can connect it to the senses, now you've just created a timeline. A version of you starting to get it ready. Okay, it's like it's like sending your order with the waitress at a restaurant. She's gonna take it, so you take it to God Source, and the order's in, and God Source is in the kitchen, mixing it up, putting all the ingredients in. But then that's your gestation period. You have to wait. It's not fast food. Fast food is in the material world. You go buy and you get. Okay, you have to wait, and you just have to trust. You have to say, there's a version of me living in Costa Rica. You can't sit there and think, well, what am I going to do? What am I doing with my house? You can't think of that at that time. That's not the time yet. Okay, so then what happens is that timeline gets created, and this is we're really going deep here. I think I'm going a little off topic, but this is kind of fun, so I'm going to keep rolling with it. Listen or not. So that timeline is created. So now all the codes are sent to your shell. Okay. So you got that version and living it out, going, okay, this is what it's like, and this is who you need to become. You're going to need to do this, 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 and this. Okay. And you have to have still moments. And this is why meditation, this is why people advance so much more when they do meditation as a practice or have some kind of grounding or in earth. The slower you are, the more you're going to process, just like a computer. This is all working just like a computer. So you get the codes, okay, and then you have to integrate the codes. So you receive them, and you'll start to have little epiphanies like, I should, because you might drive a certain car, you might act a certain way. So you might, let's say you play the drums in Costa Rica, okay? And all of a sudden you like keep running into, you've always kind of wanted to learn the drums, not sure why, and you keep running into these signs saying, buy 2 months, get one free, start to drum, That's kind of how it works. It's just the codes that are they're being sent out to pull you in, to guide you, your carrot trail, okay, to get to Costa Rica. We got a whole thing we got to work out now. It's done. The order's in, okay? And many of us are in this right now, okay? Our orders are in. We've manifested. We've been in the dream state. We've been manifesting, and so now we're getting the codes. And so this is why there's so much action in the sun and in astrology. So anyway, so where you go when you evolve, I went way off on a tangent there. I actually could have kept going. Where you go when you evolve, you don't go anywhere. You will, though. So, for example, okay, here's me, right? I lived on the other side of the United States of America and I dreamed of living in Florida on the beach. I had a whole dream. I had a whole vision, okay? But from that vision to probably 6 years maybe from the time that I started that vision, and I just had to let it unfold, okay? So we're not at the drive-through. We're not getting instant gratification. We're not just going out and buying a car for the heck of it, instant gratification. If you want your higher timeline, okay, if you want your higher timeline, you have to take all your senses off this timeline. So if you're in gratification, you're trying to get laid tonight, or or go rob a bank, or if you're in that, you're not going to connect to that timeline. You can't get the codes, and you definitely can't process them. You're in too low frequency of choices. So you got to allow the gestation period. You got to take your focus off whatever your vices are. We all have them. I love to play spades at night. I had to let that go in order to manifest mine. I really did, because it was keeping me from another video, but it was keeping me from moving forward, because it just was how I was spending my lazy time, and I needed to activate. I needed to get to action. So you have to let go of things. Might have to let go of drinking for a while. You only have so much energy, and you're going to get the codes. You're going to do it one way or another, so you may as well meditate, grab the codes, and just let those download in you and process, so you could get going. Sooner you'll be in Costa Rica. So anyways, your body, your shell don't go anywhere, but you have manifested a new timeline when you evolve, and you will be led on a breadcrumb trail to get to that timeline, and you will live it out. It will happen. So journal. If it starts happening, journal. All right.